I bring you glad tidings from this part of the world. You know, for reasons best known to me, I decided already that as I am not a politician and most likely I will never want to be one, I decided that I do not want to be commenting anymore on political issues. Because most times the things I say are being misunderstood, and so many people who are very close to me have actually advised me that I should mind my business as a traditional enthusiast and as an entertainer. I want to agree with these friends of mine. But then again, most times when you stay, you will discover that there are some certain things that will come up and you have no other option than to respond to them. I listened to the interview granted by His Excellency Governor Donald Duke, the former governor of Cross River State. This is a man I admire so much, a man I have so much respect for. Therefore, I am not going to disrespect him in any way. He said something that the coastal road that Nigeria is constructing from Lagos to Calabar, that Nigeria cannot afford that road. I agree with him. I agree with him that there is already an existing road between Lagos and Calabar, and that if that road is bad, that the first thing government is supposed to do is to fix the existing road before dabbling into the construction of a new one. I agree completely with that presentation. But where I disagree vehemently is where he said that Nigeria cannot afford the construction of that coastal road. What I want to say, with all due respect, is that Nigeria, if Nigeria will expunge corruption from their operation, Nigeria as a government can afford any infrastructure on earth. Nigeria can actually afford to establish a state-of-the-art airport. Do you know that kind of airport we have in Atlanta, in America? That kind of airport, Nigeria can actually build that airport in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of this country. There is no infrastructure that we cannot build in Nigeria. The reason it appears as if we cannot is because of the deep-rooted corruption in Nigeria, whereby significant amount of money that's supposed to go into the development of the country will end up in pockets of private individuals who are saddled with the responsibility of managing the money. The people who are supposed to be managing the commonwealth of the people are stealing the commonwealth. And the people are left with nothing. And it appears as if the country is broke. If all the loopholes in government are blocked, whereby money that comes to government is used judiciously, efficiently, to effectively manage the system, Nigeria can afford anything. So I want the young people who listen to that video, who may have run with that impression that we cannot build it, I want them to know that we can actually build it. It is corruption that is making us believe that there are so many things that we cannot do. There is nothing Nigeria sets us to do that we cannot do if public funds are judiciously managed. And it is on that note I want to make a passionate appeal to the people that are saddled with the responsibility of managing public funds. Please, what is money? How long are we going to steal before we develop human sympathy for the people who are not connected in any way to the corridors of power, who are looking up to you for them to have a feel of government in place. How more or how much more can you steal before you get tired? We don't need to, claim as if we do not know what is going on. We know what is going on. So many of the people that are money bags today that are doing a lot of things that you begin to imagine, they are people who served in government. They never did any business that we know. They never invented any software that went viral that almost all the families in the world are using for them to have built the kind of financial empire that they are sitting on. The only thing they have done is that they worked in government in whatever capacity they did, and they became billionaires. Where did the money come from? If not by stealing. And we have a system that is not questioning anything. That is why it will appear as if we cannot build an infrastructure that we need. We may not need the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, but ultimately we need that road. Anybody who is telling you we don't need it, that person is not being sincere. We need that road. But before we go into that road, the existing road is supposed to be put in order. I agree with Donadu on that. And I agree with all the people that have actually said the same thing. But there must be new infrastructure that are coming up. Nigeria can actually build a rail station or a rail line that cuts across the geopolitical zones of this country in 24 hours. That means if you want to run around this country in 24 hours, you can actually do that. There should be a railway that is doing that. And Nigeria can put that in place. Is it not very disturbing that the colonial masters left and it appears as if railway is no longer operational in Nigeria? If Nigeria is working, people who are into nightlife, people that are living in the East, can actually travel to the West for nightlife, come back to the East very early in the morning and still go to their normal businesses. Nigeria is not so big. Nigeria is a big country, but it is not so big. Are you not amazed that a country like Iceland, for example, they are not even up to 500,000 people. The whole country. They are not up to 500,000 people. And they are a country functioning well. Google it and you will discover that Iceland has almost 6 airports, functional airports, international airports in Iceland. And they are not up to 500,000. That means like 3 local governments in Nigeria may be bigger than the whole of Iceland, population-wise, not land mass. They have a big land mass, but their population is like 500,000 or something lesser than 500,000. But they are a country where their resources are being judiciously managed. When are we going to advance to that level that our resources will be judiciously managed for the good of all? So that whatever infrastructure we believe that the people need, the government in place can put it in place. When that time comes, this kind of argument that you are seeing something that even small countries are putting in place, you will say that the whole Nigeria cannot do that. That era will be in the past. There is nothing Nigeria cannot do when we decide to do it. The only limiting factor in Nigeria is corruption. When are we going to fight that corruption head on? So that there will be no business as usual. There will be no sacred cows. That anybody who steals public money faces the law as written. When are we going to get into that era? That may be the era that Nigeria will begin to function. When do we get there? My name is Ugezu, J. Ugezu. I am a Nigerian filmmaker, a Nigerian philosopher, a Nigerian thinker, and I am always in my area, my lane, trying as much as possible to mind my business. Have a wonderful day.